aromatic intermediates was first done by Wieland. That's why this is also called Wieland intermediate. So in different books, you shall find different names. It may be called sigma complex, areniumine, or Wieland intermediate, but keeping in mind all three are same. So this mechanism involves two steps. First is in which the substrate and reagent both are reacting slow rated on which the reaction rate depends. So it has a second order kinetics. The change in the concentration of electrophile and change in the concentration of the aromatic system shall make a difference towards reaction rate. And forming an intermediate which shall disintegrate to product upon the loss of a H positive ion. So this is the overall mechanism we commonly call arenium ion. And keeping in mind here this arenium ion, it can be a NO2 plus, mean this is called nitronium ion, and HSO3 plus, this is called sulfonium ion. It may be X plus, which is called halonium ion. R plus, it can be called alkyl group, and similarly or alkyl electrophile. Similarly, RCO plus. This positive charge is on carbon, not on oxygen. This is called acyl group or acyl electrophile. So there are so many others you shall come across here. So just to consider the very first, the nitro. Keeping in mind what is important, if we have these type of cations generated, electrophiles are being generated, then further mechanism shall be the same, which is two step. Generation of electrophile involve different mechanisms. So we are not talking about how the electrophile is generated. Electrophile once generated, it shall approach the electron-rich substrate to follow two-step mechanism. But how this is generated, this is not an easy task. Let's see if we proceed towards the nitro. Nitronium ion, how it is being produced, there are various mechanisms. Five different mechanisms or five different methods has been adopted for nitration. One is we are heating our aromatic system in concentrated nitric acid at 70 degrees Celsius. Second, we can decrease the temperature to 50-40 degrees Celsius, and we can use the sulfuric acid as a catalytic amount. So when we are keeping in mind two important aspects, I also present normally during the practical hours that we haven't got chance this in this course. So we are using two terminology: stoichiometric amount and catalytic amount. Stoichiometric amount is if we are using, let's say, 1 mole of a substrate, how much reagent we shall need. Normally, this is more than 1 mole. If we are using 1 mole of a substrate, normally we use 1.1, 1.05 mole of the reagent to ensure the completion of reaction. So this is what we need. So if we are using a catalyst in very small concentration, because a catalyst is consumed and a catalyst is regenerated. This is what you are already familiar with the characteristic of a catalyst. So catalyst need to be in very small concentration. It may be just 1%. Let's say if we have 100 substrate molecule, we can have only 1 molecule of the catalyst, or it may be 0.1 percent, mean 1 molecule of catalyst versus 1000 substrate molecule. It may be 0.01 versus mean 10,000 substrate and 1 molecule of catalyst. So there are, depending upon if catalyst is expensive, so we need very poor concentration of that. This low concentration of catalyst is called catalytic amount. And stoichiometric amount, we are talking about the equal to the substrate. So these are the two terminologies which are very importantly used. So here sulfuric acid is used as the catalytic amount. Very small concentration is used, just as a source of proton. Similarly, nitric acid reacting with acetic acid, this is also been used. The reaction is done in acetic acid as a solvent. Acetic acid is a very good solvent as well. So nitric acid is added to this, soluble in acetic acid, and then aromatic substrate is added to this. So it reacts and results in the formation of product. So these are the three different methods. One, purely nitric acid we are using. Second, we are using rather nitric acid. We are using nitric acid mixed with sulfuric acid in catalytic amount. Nitric acid reacting with catalytic amount of acetic acid. These are the three methods. I have generalized all these three methods in one. This mechanism is presented. So if it is nitric acid, if you remember, this is the structure of a nitric acid. Nitro, double bond with oxygen, nitrogen bond with OH. So this is three bonds. Nitrogen when make, fourth bond it is making with oxygen. Oxygen is carrying a negative charge. This molecule, so nitric acid, contain one positive and one negative charge. So overall charge is zero. That's why we write HNO3. Charge is zero because one positive, one negative, it is zero charge. This is the structure of nitric acid. Now, what is the role of this H positive ion? This H positive ion, in fact, undergo reaction with this oxygen donate electron pair to this. Now you would argue that why it is going to be donating, there is a negative charge on the oxygen, why it is not picking this up, keeping in mind this oxygen having a negative charge. This negative charge is in resonance, like it donates this electron pair here, and this pi electron between nitrogen and oxygen transfer to oxygen. So we have a negative charge there and a double bond here. So this negative charge is delocalized. So it means this is not available. But this positive charge here, sorry, non-bonding electron pair on this oxygen is localized. That's why it donates this one non-bonding electron pair to the such positive ion and gets protonated. Oxygen making three bonds shall be positively charged. Now there is a driving force. This oxygen takes this electron pair off to make a positive charge neutralized. We shall get a water molecule H2O shall be released, or this nitrogen shall become positively charged. As a result, this oxygen donates this electron pair here back. So we are getting nitrogen again four bonded but positively charged. This is how nitronium ion can be generated. Now, if we are using this acid, H positive ion are coming from what? If you remember, nitric acid is also exists in another form. Nitric acid generate H positive ion and nitrate ion. So if it lose H positive ion, there shall be no bond. This oxygen shall be negative. It shall be nitrate ion NO3, NO3, and there is a charge one negative on that. Why? Because there are two negative charges and one positive. Overall charge shall be one negative. So nitrate carries a one negative charge. So nitric acid decomposes to H positive ion and nitrate ion. So that one of the H positive ion generated by nitric acid that reacts with another nitric acid molecule to protonate. So we are not only using nitric acid, it is sufficient enough. H positive ion produced by nitric acid is self-consumed here, protonating this one. But if we can also use a different H positive ion, maybe sulfuric acid is a source of H positive ion, then this H positive ion is produced by source. Now you can see in this case, H positive ions are being taken from sulfuric acid. This H positive ion can be taken from H positive ion can be taken from acetic acid as well. Now you see H positive ion is consumed, and in this mechanism no H positive ion is being generated. But keeping in mind this H positive ion is being consumed, but when it shall follow this mechanism, it shall produce a one H positive ion. So one H positive ion produced during the generation of nitronium ion is regenerated in second step of the mechanism. So this is It means this H positive ion is consumed but not reproduced. It shall be reproduced during rhenium ion mechanism. All right. So that's just a brief introduction that I have highlighted in this case, that either we are using pure nitric acid, we are using nitric acid combination with sulfuric acid, or nitric acid with acetic acid. It shall result in all cases following same mechanism to generate a nitronium ion. But look at these three. What is a drawback among these all three methods? The conditions are highly acidic. Very strong acids we are using. Nitric acid. Nitric acid is not only a strong acid, it is also a strong oxidizing agent as well. So if it is a strong oxidizing agent, it is not going to react in such a way. So we avoid this. Maybe if our substrate is acid sensitive, then we this procedure. During that, we have some two other alternate methods. Let's see, one I have presented in next mechanism here. So what is this? This is called N2O5, nitrogen pentaoxide, which is a totally inorganic material. And you are familiar with this entity. This is also called anhydride of nitric acid, N2O5. You see, two nitrogen, and you have 5 oxygens here, and it has 2 plus charges on nitrogen and 2 negative charges on oxygen. So overall it has 2 positive, 2 negative charges. So net charge is 0. This is the structure of N2O5. This is called anhydride. What is anhydride? In anhydride functionality, you see carbon oxygen double bond, carbon oxygen double bond, and oxygen is in between. This is the anhydride. This is anhydride of nitric acid. You see, this is the structure of nitric acid. O and double bond O, O and double bond O, O. And other side, the same is the structure. This oxygen is common among both of them. This is what is also common among anhydrides. So this is called anhydride of nitric acid. When two nitric acid combines, losing one lose H positive ion, other lose HO positive ion. So sorry, HO generating water molecule. When one water molecule leaves, it results N2O, which is this one. This is brownish in color. Whenever we react nitric acid, we also observe brown fumes. That brown fumes are not nitronium ion. Nitronium ion doesn't produce white fumes. That brown fumes are N2O5 fumes. N2O5 molecules generating from nitric acid, they are brownish, reddish brown in color. So these are the, in fact, anhydride of nitric acid, commonly called, but it is N2O5, nitrogen pentoxide. This is a gas which has a reddish brown color. So when it is being heated, upon heating, this nitrogen bond flips. Oxygen donates electron pair here to sterilize her, and this electron pair transfers to oxygen. What it results? It results O negative, and no, this is nitrate, what we call. Nitrate molecule leaves, and what we got? Nitrogen, oxygen, double bond, nitrogen, oxygen, double bond like this. So this is the method how nitronium ion can be again regenerated. So these are the two methods which are adopted, but handling N2O5 is also not an easy task. It is a gas. So we have a different assembly for this. We were disconnected. So everybody can listen me?
Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. आवाज आ रही है आपकी.
And it was a disconnection, in fact. That's why I don't know what's the reason going on. So let's see if I share this again. Right, so this is clear. The first two mechanism is clear to all of you. This is involving nitric acid, pure nitric acid. This H positive ion may be coming from nitric acid. It may be coming from sulfuric acid. It may be coming from acetic acid, whatsoever. In all such cases, it is going to form nitronium ion. This is N2O5, a gas, reddish brown in color, which generates nitronium ion upon heating. So N2O5 is also not a good method. It is handling of nitrogen pentoxide. If it gets leak, it is a poisonous gas as well. So that's why N2O5 is no good method as well, but it can generate nitronium ion passing a neutral pH. You see, there is no H positive ion here. There is no H positive ion here. There is no H positive ion here. But during reaction, H positive ions are being generated. So anyhow, this is going through a neutral mechanism. So neutral reaction is going on. Such substrate which are need acid sensitive can be used this method, but its handling is very difficult. Another alternate these days that we have, we generate nitronium ion separately and we quench this, making a salt with some other anions. So underneath I have presented, we can have pure nitric acid as a nitrating agent. We can have a nitric acid with sulfuric acid, but sulfuric acid shall be catalytic amount. Nitric acid, stoichiometric, and acetic acid in catalytic amount. These are the three methods you have seen highlighted in first mechanism. Second is N2O5, nitrogen pentoxide, the structure of which is this one and can generate very easily in a single step. Fifth method which has been used for generating a nitronium ion, we are using the counter ions in fact. So these are the counter ions of this. Now you can see this is the, in fact, nitronium ion are generated by any of these first four methods on commercial scale, and it is being quenched with a anion. Let's see the what anion, nitronium ion. It has been counter ion is strontium hexafluoride. Strontium commonly called antimony. So strontium hexafluoride is a counter ion, anion. It forms a salt. So we have a salt of this, which is neither acidic nor basic. So we can use it directly. Nitronium ion is already generated. We don't need to generate this. Second, look at this. This is nitronium ion salted with BF4, boron tetrafluoride. Similarly, nitronium ion anionated with phosphorus hexafluoride. So they are having a negative charge on them, in fact. So nitronium ion is common among all of them, but the counter ion is different. Anion is different. So these are the methods, 5 methods being used for the generation of a nitronium ion. This is called nitronium ion. And the rest of the procedure is same. That nitronium ion shall react with this, generating this one here. So we shall have a, in fact, positive charge is there. So just see, if an aromatic group is approaching this, so this electron pair shall transfer on oxygen, right? It shall get that bond bonded with air. So we shall get a nitrogen double bond with O and single bond with O negative, right? So we shall have this positive charge still on nitrogen in nitronium ion. So this is the procedure. Now let's see sulfonation. How sulfonation is used? Two protocols are being used. First, if we have a sulfur trioxide, look at this is the structure of sulfur trioxide. Sulfur trioxide is a gas. When it is bubbled through a sulfuric acid solution, sulfuric acid contains H positive ion and bisulfate ion, or bisulfate ion can be further ionized to H positive ion and sulfate ion. So sulfuric acid may be present in sulfuric positive ions. So H positive ion shall protonate one of these oxygen. Once it has been oxygenated, protonated this oxygen, so it shall take this electron pair off. I have presented the other resonance form of this. If this electron pair transfers to oxygen, it shall be neutralized, but this sulfur shall be positively charged. Now you see we have generated a sulfur with positive charge. In previous you have seen we have generated a positive charge on nitrogen, and nitrogen electrophile. This is a sulfur electrophile, so it can be easily taken. But using sulfur trioxide is again a poison. This is a poisonous gas. It also affects the, if it gets leak, it shall go to air and air shall react with the ozone layer. Ozone layer, if reacting with sulfur trioxide, shall act as an oxidizing agent. So it shall oxidize it to molecular oxygen. So ozone depletion shall take place. So that's why it is not recommended these days to use sulfur dioxide. Handling is difficult. Poisonous gas, poisonous to environment and poisonous to animal tissues as well, with a strong oxidizing agent. That's why other than this, we have another alternate which is commonly called oleum. Oleum is a anhydride of sulfuric acid. Just previously you have seen the anhydride of sulfuric acid is commonly called N2O5. Very similar, the anhydride of sulfuric acid. You see, if I hide this part, so if I write OH here, it is a simple sulfuric acid. And simple, if you have this oxygen common, H is here, it is a sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So one molecule lose H positive ion, other OH ion, resulting in the formation of this anhydride. This is what we call oleum, H2S2O7. Oleum is generated, and this oleum in contact process is when hydrolyzed, it generates sulfuric acid. So commercially, oleum is available. It is oily type material. So having a high density, just like honey. So this oleum can be used. It has a very high boiling point. Second, it is not poisonous. It is not vaporizing, etc. So when it is being reacted, so what undergoes here? Look at here. This electron pair can transfer on this oxygen, generating a bisulfate H SO4 negative. And this sulfur shall become electron deficient. So this hydrogen leaves, generates a double bond at this position. So what we shall get, in fact, we shall get a very similar to this position, right? Or let's say this sulfur loses this oxygen, so it shall be positive, very similar to this. This oxygen shall donate electron pair to generate this resonance form. So either we are presenting in this form or presenting in that form, they are same. If this is form, it shall be tautomerizing into this form. So we have generated a sulfur electrophile. This is how sulfonation can be resulted. Rest of the procedure shall be same. Here electrophile S triple bond O with positive charge shall be following this sulfur shall be bonded with carbon, and this H positive ion shall leave. Rest of the mechanism is similar. So these are the two mechanisms we have come across: nitration, sulfonation. Now let's see one we call Friedel-Crafts alkylation and Friedel-Crafts acylation. You have already seen in previous classes, but I'm just going through these things with a faster rate so that you should remember this. So alkylation mean on aromatic system we are generating an alkyl cation. So how we can generate an alkyl cation? There are three different methods. If we are using an alkyl halide with BF3, BF3 you have seen it is an electron deficient entity. So this halide, halogen, have a tendency to donate electron pair to this boron because boron is electron deficient. So when boron is bonded, this is a coordinate covalent bond. X alkyl halide may be chlorine, bromine, or iodine. It has lost this electron to this boron. Boron shall be very happy to have an electron pair, shall be negatively charged. No, it has 8 electrons in the valence shell. So this positive charge on halogen is not tolerable. As a result, it takes this electron pair off and we get BF3X with negative charge. And this alkyl group shall become positively charged. This is one way of making it, starting from alkyl halide. This not only BF3 we are required, we may use any other Lewis acid. Let's say we may have FeCl3, ferric chloride, that is also a Lewis acid. We can use aluminum trichloride or aluminum tribromide, etc. that is also a Lewis acid. Any Lewis acid can be used for this process. All of them shall result alkyl cation. Second, let's see, we have alcohols. So alcohols, if reacted with a strong acid, let's say sulfuric acid or HCl, so this oxygen shall having two non-bonding electron pair, it donates one lone pair to H positive ion, resulting in the protonation. This protonation shall become a positive charge on oxygen, which is not tolerable, high electronegative, and having a positive charge. So what shall happen? This oxygen carbon bond shall break in such a favor, and we shall get a positive charge on this alkyl. So this is the very first change that we shall observe, again generating a R positive ion. Now let's see another possibility. If we have an olefin H positive ion we are reacting with, so H positive ion, let's say HCl we are reacting with, so it shall produce H positive ion. This H positive ion shall be taken by this olefin, generating a positive charge here. This H positive ion can also go to this carbon, generating a primary carbocation, which is less stable. But if it go to this carbon, it shall generate a secondary carbocation. So that's why secondary carbocation is generated. So these are the three methods to generate a carbocation. You see, one is starting from alkyl halide reacting with a Lewis acid, alcohol reacting with an a mineral acid to generate a R positive. Similarly, olefins we are reacting with acids to generate a positive charge. But in these cases, there is a drawback in fact. What happens if, let's see, there is some other possibility, then this positive ion can be rearranged. For example, I have highlighted here. If we are starting with this alkyl halide reacting with aluminum tribromide, following similar mechanism, this X bromine shall donate electron pair to this aluminum tribromide, resulting in this type of complex. It shall leave this, we shall get AlBr4 negative, right? So we shall get this positive charge on this carbon. But if, let's see, this there is a hydrogen present on this next carbon, if we transfer from this carbon to that, this is a migration. So if it migrate from this position, look at the arrow. Arrow is half going along the bond and then transferring to this. What is it showing? This hydrogen is taking the both electron pair to this carbon. It is transferring with electron pair. This is a variation. Otherwise, you can show just an arrow starting from the center, transferring there. That doesn't mean. It is showing this is a migration. This is how we present the migration that you shall see in next semester. So anyhow, if this H positive ion transfer from this carbon to this carbon, so it shall result upon neutral here and a positive charge. And look at the stability. This carbon is secondary carbocation. This carbocation is a tertiary carbocation. Definitely tertiary is more stable than secondary. So rearrangement takes place in the substrate, resulting a more stable carbocation. Now this carbocation is available, but it is sterically crowded. So reaction rate shall be slower down. So we have generated, we were interested in the connectivity of this carbon with the aromatic system, but this carbon doesn't connect. In fact, it is this carbon which gets connected because it generates this cation, which is less stable. It transfers into tertiary carbocation. So this is a drawback that we observe in alkylation. The same we observe in alcohols. We get this one, it rearranges. And in case of olefins, we also get two different types of cation here or there. So definitely the one which is more stable shall survive. This is a drawback in Friedel-Crafts alkylation, in fact. So let's see, acylation, what happens? We have acid halides. This X may be chlorine, bromine, or iodine. When we are reacting them with very same mechanism, no alcohols, no olefins, because this functional group is entirely different. Acid halides are when reacted with BF3, very similar mechanism. It results in the formation of this complex. X becomes positively charged, so it takes this electron pair off to stabilize the positive charge. Here we are getting in fact the BF3X negative charge on bromine eliminated. and we are getting this positive charge on the carbon. So in other resonance form, this oxygen donates electron pair, non-bonding electron pair to generate a triple bond, but oxygen is bearing a positive charge. No doubt there is a positive charge in this resonance form on carbon. There is a positive charge on oxygen in this system. So this carbon is more stable as compared with, or you can say this resonance form is more stable as compared to this resonance form. Reason, because here positive charge is high electronegative atom. So such resonance form in which there is a positive charge on high electronegative atom have a less resonance, less contribution towards resonance hybrid than the one which is having a positive charge on low electronegative atom. So this is a Friedel-Crafts acylation. Now we have generated electron deficient entity. So when aromatic system shall approach, it shall approach carbon. This electron pair shall transfer on oxygen, and aromatic substitution or electronic density shall transfer to this carbon, or this is more, it shall transfer to this directly. So we shall get a acylation on the aromatic systems. So these are the 4 different methods I have highlighted, how different electrophiles can be generated. One electrophile you have seen is nitronium ion, other is sulfonium ion. Nitronium ion generates nitration, sulfonium ion generates sulfonation, SO2OH group it is undergoing. And thirdly, I have presented different methods to generate a alkyl cation. This is called Friedel and Kraft were the 2 scientists who first worked on this. And on this experiment and this observation, they were given Nobel Prize a long time ago, almost a century back. Friedel-Crafts acylation is very similarly well studied, and in which we are having a cation is on a acyl group in fact. So we can carry out Friedel-Crafts alkylation, we can carry out Friedel-Crafts acylation as well, and we can carry out sulfonation, we can carry out nitration. Just the change in electrophile is taking place. Otherwise, mechanism aromatic substitution is same, which is this one. And where the aromatic system, this electrophile may be a nitronium ion. You have seen the generation, 5 different methods. 2 different methods you have come across for the generation of this sulfonium ion. So electrophile is different. Yes, one thing is remaining. If we have a different halogens, X2, if they are reacting with the very similar Lewis acid, they shall result the same results. So we shall have a X positive ion in fact. So halogenation is been taking place. Alkylation, you have seen this is called Friedel-Crafts alkylation. Acyl group we can also transform. This is called Friedel-Crafts acylation. So you see we are different electrophiles we can generate, and when it is approaching the aromatic system, it shall follow only 2 steps. One is the generation of rhenium ion, also called Wieland intermediate or a sigma complex, which is a slow rated step always, shall leave a H positive ion to go to the product, and this is always its kinetics is always faster rate. So reaction rate shall depend on the first one. So these are the 2-step mechanism. In fact, it is a stepwise, so we call this not a concerted mechanism. So these are the different methods for this. So formylation, how to generate, bring a formaldehyde group on the aromatic system. We shall start this in next lecture. So it is in fact much longer. So SC1 mechanism, simultaneous attack, and other. So we shall go to this in next lecture in fact. So very first, just you are going to see how different electrophile can be generated by different protocols, and then we can react that with aromatic system. So just 2 remaining 2 minutes